Well, here we go again. It's this active weather pattern that has more impact weather, and sometimes it's okay to simply define impact weather as annoying weather. And that's what's coming for Friday, Saturday, and then maybe into a part of Easter Sunday too. We'll call Friday night and Saturday an impact day because of the potential of some locally heavy rain. The Weather Prediction Center, WPC, has out a limited risk of some localized flash flooding near and north of Birmingham up to about Huntsville and into Jackson County for the upcoming Friday, Saturday time frame. Along with the heavy rain, it's also going to be pretty doggone chilly and breezy on Saturday. So these are the counties where there's at least a limited chance of more than 1 or 2 inches of rain that could add up to some localized flooding. I think there may be a very narrow band where we end up with rain that could be more than 2 or 3 inches in a few isolated pockets. So here's the radar around central Alabama this afternoon. There have been a couple of heavier thunderstorms down to the south, but if you look closely right here across northwest Alabama, wouldn't you know it, there's our cold front right there from Double Springs, southwest of Fayette and Carrollton. You see the timestamp there, 5:46 p.m. So even though it's already started to get a little cooler in Birmingham, we are gradually going to see the temperature drop lower and lower later on tonight. So again, about this impact weather deal that comes up for Friday into Saturday. So Friday night, Saturday, the Weather Prediction Center has, WPC, the Weather Prediction Center, they've got up this risk of some localized heavy rain that's a little bit more significant over Jackson, Mississippi, down to New Orleans, over eastern Louisiana, and then it works its way up here across northeast Alabama. What's ultimately happening here is this thing called an inverted trough. So if you think about high pressure and low pressure, we've got all these little isobars on the map like this. And that little kink right there represents where we are going from lower pressure down here to higher pressure over here. And because of that, there's just this convergence. You've got the wind trying to come in out of the south over Alabama, the wind trying to come in out of the north like this around that high. And it just leads to kind of a messy situation. And often those inverted troughs can give us some of the heaviest rain that we get essentially out of the entire calendar year. So the timeline on the heaviest rain would be Friday night, early Saturday morning. Localized flooding in that green zone across central Alabama, including Gadsden, Jacksonville, Birmingham, Pell City, Arab, Section, Fort Payne, Geraldine, over to Lynn in Winston County, Hamilton, Berry, Fayette, Jasper, Cordova, Tuscaloosa. And then the farther south you go, even in Shelby County, this may be something that we have to deal with. So look at this. This may be the most impressive thing out of all of it. 9 o'clock on Friday morning. Are you kidding me? 9 a.m. on April 7th. It is 48 degrees in Florence and 47 in Russellville, 62 in Birmingham, 64 in Clanton. So watch this. As we go through time, your better chance of rain is across the northwestern part of the state, first part of the day on Friday, and really through Friday afternoon too. Clanton, 72. Montgomery, 77. Russellville, 57. Coleman, 54 at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Then the rain really starts to pick up, and there will be a zone from about 10 p.m. Friday through early Saturday morning where it just comes down by the bucket across central and northeast Alabama. And if you notice over here, see that blue area just above my head over Georgia? It's called the wedge. A wedge of cool, dry air that's coming in at the surface, keeping it cold over East Alabama Saturday morning. And with the rain, that's why we're calling it an impact day. That is the definition of annoying. Now, the rain will taper off midday to early afternoon Saturday, but not before we've had a pretty miserable Saturday. So here's 7-day forecast. Good Friday, rainy periods here and there. Look at the temperature contrast. Highs in the mid-50s around Hamilton, mid-50s around Coleman, upper 50s in Huntsville, mid-70s in Clanton, Alexander City, 77, 81 in Montgomery. So that's a good Friday for you. A north wind, a good chance of some scattered showers now and then. Your best chance of any significant measurable rain is likely right about here in northwest Alabama. Huntsville, Arley, Jasper, Tuscaloosa, Aliceville. The farther you get down this way into East Alabama, it's just not quite as significant until we get to Friday night and early Saturday. And that's where we start dealing with maybe some heavy rain. Expect around 1 to 2 inches of rain in all, and we'll zoom in on this so that you can see what's going on. That narrow stripe, now I'll caution you, as we often see, a stripe of rain that wide that's positioned from Scottsboro to Cullman to Jasper to Fayette to Reform, well, that could just as easily be down here towards Shelby County, probably not that much farther north, but it might be just a tick farther northwest. So you're looking at roughly a 40-mile wide band of heavy rain that could end up near Birmingham, near Cullman, or near Decatur. Let's put it that way. And even if we don't get that heaviest band through the Birmingham metro, I think most of Jefferson and Shelby counties here, at least 1 inch of rain. Madison County, probably a ½ inch to an inch for the most areas. And then down to the southeast toward Marshall County, it's probably going to get higher. The Shoals gets a little bit left out here, and Montgomery, Prattville, over to Auburn, somewhat left out as well. Just not going to get quite as much out of this deal. Sunday, the weather does improve some. On Easter Sunday, we're cool and we're dry. We still have that east wind, but at least we don't see widespread heavy soaking rain all day. Sunrise services in the 40s Sunday morning. If you have a sunrise service, let us know. I'd love to know about it, and we can, of course, always answer questions and determine if you need to do anything different, but I think most of us are going to be good to go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it looks a little interesting late week. I do think there's potential for a stalled system near the Gulf Coast that may send some more rain up this way and keep temperatures from really rebounding back to the 80s, but overall it does look warmer and drier for at least the first half of next week.